Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Iris Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Yeti. Joining me, we have the wrong names listed on this. Unfortunately, we have the wrong names listed here. Little oversight on my extremely stressed and addled brain. I do apologize, folks. But I promise
time that I've been NPC.
It's not Thuggington, it's Delphi, and it's not Thor, it is Thor. It's not NPC, it's Apathy. And it's not BethCon. It is, in fact, Navino. My bad on that, y'all. I will fix that as we speak here. But, hey, welcome, everybody, here to Week 5 in the Tranquility community. We are setting up here for the final week now of Stage 1. And going along with that, we have an exciting little event coming up here. Or I should say a series of events. That's right, we have Event Week. That's kicking off here next week in Tranquility. It is the quote-unquote week off for everybody, where we as the staff do not have a week off. In fact, we'll be streaming not just 5, but now 6 days in a row. That's right, we'll be streaming 6 days in a row instead of 5 like we had originally said. So Event Week is right around the corner, guys. We talk it up all the time. I want to emphasize it again. This is all for a fantastic cause. The organization is called Rise Above the Disorder. They are a charity that provides funding for mental health resources for people, specifically a focus on young adults. It's a fantastic organization. Last season, we raised $10,000 for them, which enabled them to help out or provide sessions for over 300 people free of charge because of the generosity of the Tranquility community. Guys, it's a fantastic organization. We really hope that you consider donating. And right now, you can actually begin donating. That's right. This is now open. Here's the deal. A lot of the rewards that you're going to see next week, they aren't in there yet. But here's what it's open for. It's not just open for everybody's donations. If you want to make bigger donations or if you want to look at other incentives and rewards for donating, wait till Sunday, Monday. That'll be a good time for you to donate. What it's open for right now is for content creation team 1v1 challenges. That's right. Now, maybe perhaps Delphi has had a bit of a big head about his Widowmaker recently, and you'd like to show him what's what. Maybe Thor's beard offends you for some reason. I don't know why it would, but maybe it does. Maybe Apathy... Yeah, maybe Apathy's hair creates jealousy for you. I know it does for me. It's fantastic. Maybe Navino is just too stinky. Now, can you think about these things? How do you want to take that out on us, guys? Well, if you donate $10 to Rise Above the Disorder, you can challenge one of the content creation team members to a 1v1. That's right. It's not only the 5 of us here that you can challenge. It is, in fact, a significant list. There are actually 19 of us this season, y'all. It's not just like the podcast team anymore. There are a lot of us. Not only do you have the 5 of us, you can challenge Gizmo. You can challenge Artemis. You can challenge Bowsy. You can challenge J-Star, Juggle God, Capital, K-Wing, Laggy, OC. You can challenge Thoramea. You can challenge Worst. You can challenge all of us in this. And don't forget that also includes NPC. That includes Thug. That includes Beth. That includes Booth. Challenge all of us, and you can challenge Captain Jack as well. Guys, we want to take you on in these 1v1s. The way you do that is you go ahead and type !donate in the chat. There's a maximum of 3 1v1 challenges per CCT member. So if you want to get after one of us, you got to sign up quick. A minimum $10 donations. We just got an anonymous $60 donation, by the way. Thank you to Anonymous, whoever you are. But an anonymous $60 donation. Thank you so much. So you only need to donate right now a minimum of $10. You select that reward and indicate in the comments who you want to challenge. And like I said, it's a maximum of 3 per CCT member. So get those in right away so you can lock down that 1v1. There are limited slots available. Only 18 1v1s will be had. These will be streamed, by the way, next Monday. Like I said, we got 66 days of events. And I'm going to quickly run through those because I'm tired of talking.
Where's NPC when you need him?
I know. Where's NPC? NPC, can you log on? Just take over the stream. I'm tired. Tired. All I have to drink here is this goddamn buttered soda. Thank you, Twitter.
You do this to yourself.
I know I do. But anyways, so we've already talked about all the events again. Monday is the content creation team 1v1s. Tuesday is the Widowmaker 1v1 tournament. Wednesday is the Torbjorn Brawls and the Anna Paintball. We have on Thursday the 2v2 elimination. On Friday is Admin Pugs. Signups got posted to announcements today for that, and I'll probably post them a few more times. Get those in quickly, by the way, so you can get signed up. And now I also am announcing officially something that was earned on last season's event week that didn't get to happen until Sunday. We are doing the official Tranquility Staff Dungeons and Dragons night.
Nice.
That's right. We'll be streaming Dungeons and Dragons on Sunday next week, where we will have a campaign being run by BethCon herself, and we will be doing some Dungeons and Dragons live on stream. So tune in for that. It's just going to be fun. The admins are going to be a little silly. We're going to have a good time. Come make fun of us, call us nerds. It's cool. We're here to have fun, and honestly, we're here to raise money for a fantastic cause. I see another $10 donation come through. Thank you, Watercliff, it looks like is the name on that. Thank you for the donation on that, guys. I'll be shouting out every donation that comes through during the stream. So if you want to get donations in, you want a little shout-out, put them up, get them in here. I'm done talking, though, y'all. We had a fantastic week. What a week in Tranquility, y'all. We're coming down to it now. Stage 1 is ending. Let's talk about Stage 1 mid-season Roll Stars. That's right. Now, you guys know Roll Stars from the Overwatch League. They have individual members of these teams who are picked based on the role. They're given this Roll Star. It's kind of like a pseudo award type deal, like an all-pro or something like that, all-starry type thing. We're doing something like that here. I'd like to reiterate that these are not an official thing. These aren't voted on by anybody. These are just the 5 of us making some picks. And if you don't like it,
Who cares?
I just don't care. So, yeah, that's just kind of how these things go for y'all. You'll just have to accept it and move on. If you really want to see stuff where we're actually getting cool rewards out there for you all, and stuff that's voted on, stuff that your peers will vote on, stuff that a committee is going to vote on, that's end of season rewards. That's All Stars. This is just us creating content for you all. Look, we made some content for you, open wide. Just like I'm going to open wide for this butter soda right now.
Ugh.
Harmony tier.
That's not how you drink soda.
You disgust me.
Let's start in the Harmony tier. Delphi, we need to pick a tank Roll Star in the Harmony tier. Delphi, why don't you start us off? Who do you got?
There are a handful of 4-0 teams in Harmony tier, and I like to shy away from those because I feel like they're always the ones that get talked about. So I'm gonna pick my tank out of Luminous Foxes. And I'm going with Dash. Great MT for Luminous. Really disciplined on the Rhine. Knows when to swing. Knows when to go in and out on Monkey. Knows when to hold shield, kite out. All in all, pretty good game sense. Solid contender in the Harmony tier. And in my opinion, that's who I'm picking for tank.
All right, Thor. What about you? Who do you got in the Harmony tier as your tank Roll Star for mid-season?
I don't want to go next, Yeti. I'll pick somebody else. I'm just kidding. So I actually went with Josh from Jetpack Cats. Reason being is because he obviously is a transfer from Firefight from Season 6, where he played Flex DPS. So he's going from Flex DPS to main tank, which is torture. So I got to give him props for that right off the bat. But after watching some of his gameplay, even though I wouldn't say they got rolled last week in their game versus, I believe it was Palm Beach Poggers. Their control map went 2-1. Their escort map was kind of a roll, but they were definitely competitive for the majority of that match. And after watching him, I'm actually really, really impressed at his ability to make that transition from Flex DPS to main tank. So I'm expecting Jetpack Cats to rebound from last week. And a lot of that is due to the fact of Josh's main tank play.
Josh is a fantastic main tank player. Has done a really good job stepping up for Jetpack Cats this season in the role switch. Apathy, what about you? Who do you got? Oh, real
All
quick,
right.
real quick. I'm sorry. Before you go, a couple donations. Actually, our first challenge, by the way, too. Watercliff made the $10 donation with the comment they're gonna have Mech from Loki challenge Thor to a 1v1. So we have that to look forward to next Monday. And then Cameron, appreciate it. $20 donations. He just wanted to see the $100, y'all, and we got to the $100. So thank you, Cameron.
Can I
for that
can
one.
I
Mhm.
make an announcement real quick? I've come to the conclusion that if anybody wants to pay the $10 to challenge me in a Widow 1v1 and I lose, I will donate $50 per loss for those three
Whoa.
challenges. So $50 per loss. So I'm gonna lock up my wallet in the safe because I don't imagine I'm gonna need it. But yeah, if anybody challenges me to
We
the
need
Widow
some
1v1,
good Widow. Get your best Widow players, because Delphi's
I'm gonna have Orsted and Jonas and Smugs in on this. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
are.
gonna get rolled.
Yeah, you are. All right.
But yes, if anyone wants to challenge me to the Widow 1v1, $50 per L that I take.
Yeah.
Let's
Exclamation
go.
point donate. Thank you, Normac. Appreciate that for putting in the chat there. Yeah, get it in there, guys. Hey, you know what? And again, I apologize, Apathy. I totally cut you off. This is my favorite week of the season, and I talk a lot about how Tranquility means a lot to me because we do so much more than your typical Overwatch tournament. This is the kind of thing that I'm talking about, guys. It's not, podcasts are cool, whatever. Coach's Corner is great. Predicting Tranquility is cool, like no question. What makes us what my favorite thing that we do is this. This is my favorite week of the season. It's my favorite thing we do as a community because we can make such a massive difference together. So this means a lot to me. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, and I apologize for rambling, but this is this is something I not only brag. I tell my family about. I tell my parents who are 60 and in their 60s and don't care about this kind of thing. I tell my friends. I tell my coworkers that I am part of this amazing thing because of what we can do during event week. So this means a lot to me. So thank you guys for contributing as much as you are. It's really appreciated. Apathy, go ahead with your Harmony tier tank roll star.
All right, yeah. Back to the important things. Fake trophies for Harmony tier players. For some reason, I'm the only one who picked the more impactful tank roll out of the two, being off tank, because you guys are all
Oh my
main
god.
tank meatheads. I went with
Somebody get
Kemi.
this guy off the
Going
cast.
away.
Get this guy off the cast.
I went with Kemi on the Koala Kings. One of the better off tanks, I think, in the Harmony tier. Big bombs, big remix plays, constantly peeling, just does a little bit of everything. Well-rounded player for that team.
All right. So there's some confusion real quick, and I'm just going to do this because I feel bad and I don't want anybody else to put in a donation that they don't realize is actually working. So bear with me for 2 seconds. I know, pardon the really nasty looking. There we go. It's coming in. Yeah, that looks terrible, but oh god,
Just
there's
block apathy out entirely. It's perfect right where it is.
Looping.
I see Thor twice, and that's two.
I was
too
about to say,
many.
it's like looking at yourself in a mirror in a fun house where it just goes forever.
Okay. Hold on. All right. There's too much echo. It was freaking me out. All
He
right.
already doesn't want to listen to me normally, so
All right. Thought I killed the echo, but apparently I didn't. So,
man, that's
are
me
you
in
guys
every top
still
game.
hearing the echo? I need to ask on
I
stream.
never heard it.
I'm
You've
not.
never heard an echo?
Yeah.
Your voice
Okay.
sounds as sweet as
Well, I
ever.
have stream muted, so.
No echo. Okay. I apologize then because all I can hear is an echo here. So. Okay, so if you're looking at this page here, guys, the way this works is, let me just span this out so you can see it in full. Okay, so the way this works is if you are on this page, for one, you can see the stream here, and you go ahead and hit that donate button. If you hit that donate button, it's going to bring you to this next page here, which is loading in now. And then you enter in your email, whatever. You know what? I don't care. Leaks. People know my real name now.
Oh my God.
Actually, they can't see that, but you can kind of see. So then you enter in your information here. And then you put in your whatever anonymous. And then you go to next. Then you hit next. This is the highest tech, I know, guys.
I think it's
I think it's
frozen
like
on stream.
froze on.
This is
Yeah.
prime content.
No, I know. So you hit next,
see.
and then you get to. It's gonna say your donation is eligible for. You know what? I'm trying to help, and I'm just making it worse.
Nobody's ever going to be able to convince me that Yeti isn't your real name.
I thought Mister was.
Yeah, Yeti's the last name. My bad.
All right. All right. So everybody sees this, right?
Yes.
So you hit this. It's gonna ask you reward options. Then you enter in whatever you want here. And you enter, like, let's say you're wanting to challenge NPC to a soldier 1v1.
With your own Discord tag in the comments.
And then you
as
enter
well.
in your Discord tag. Thank you.
Easy, GG.
And then you donate here. And I'm not going to show anymore because I am not going to get flippin' DDoSed.
Is that your street address there, Yeti?
Yeah, that's my street address. And right there, if you look, that's
Social
a list
security number. Getting all the goods out.
That's a
in the streets
list of
tonight.
my greatest fears. That's a list of my greatest fears.
Yeti, what's the numbers
All
on
right.
the back of your card? I want to compare
So
it to
Normac, I understand that was more scuffed than my Overwatch play,
mine.
That's
but
saying a lot.
Your words.
thank you.
I'm innocent for once in making fun of Yeti, and I cannot believe this is possible.
So,
I think Yeti makes fun of himself more than anybody else
yeah,
does.
no, it's true. I really do make
Part
fun
of his
myself
charm.
more than anybody else. Yeah, that's why I'm so darn adorable. Anyways, guys,
Agreed.
Adorkable.
Navino, I believe we were on you. Go ahead.
Oh, are we? Is it my turn now? Am I allowed to
Yes.
speak?
Yeah,
Am I-
no, you
Oh.
keep. Hey, you know what? Go ahead, Navino. See if I care.
For tank, I have smoke from flashbacks. I thought it was kind of obvious. I really was the first one to fill this out, so I made sure to grab all the obvious picks so I could be Captain Obvious today.
Navino just first in everything.
I know, bro. You know, I'm also actually, technically, I'm last in the single category here compared to the rest of the podcast. We discovered that before we were live. I'm the only one on the podcast that's not in a relationship. You know, I'm not salty whatsoever.
It's all right. You got
But,
marsupial esports.
Yeah, you got the marsupials. It's basically like a relationship right there.
I mean, hey, you know, my koalas, I think, you know, might be cuter than these corgis we've seen. You know, I'm just saying.
Where's Ziggy go?
What?
All right.
That's my dog,
She'll come out
though.
later.
All
But
right.
Smoke is just an obvious pick to be one
Yes.
of the best main tanks, if not the best. Like, you know, and sorry, Jeff, I had to say it. And like, he just plays all the tanks really well. He's like, honestly, to me, like the big reason flashbacks is as competitive as they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that. Quick shout outs, couple more donations. Normac, you got it right this time, kind of, except you didn't say who you were going to challenge, but we'll contact you. We'll get that sorted out. And Kobe as well will also appreciate the $10 donation. We'll be in contact with you as well. So thanks, guys, for that. We're already up to, we've been streaming for what, like 20 or like 15 minutes here, about 15 minutes.
25. Well, there's the music.
There's
intro.
the music in. Yeah, apathy. We are at $130, guys. So thank you guys so much. That's awesome.
Jeez.
That's really cool. So, anyways, my tank choice here, I think it's. I'm gonna go with kind of a. I wanted to pick somebody who's a little under the radar, and I had to pick somebody from one of my favorite teams in the Harmony tier. That's right, the Jersey Boys. I'm going with Godzilla. I think Godzilla's been one of those really cool main tanks. It's just been. He plays mostly Reinhardt, just to be honest with you, but there's nothing wrong with that. When you play it good. Reinhardt's a good trick that you have. It could be a damn good trick. Godzilla is a very, very talented Reinhardt. Has shouldered the Jersey Boys through many seasons. Has done a fantastic job on the front line for them. Godzilla has been impressive every time I've seen them. I think this is finally a season where maybe a Jersey Boy can get into that All-Star game, get some consideration for best tank awards and things like that. And I think Godzilla can kind of lead that way for the Jersey Boys this season. Let's get to the DPS now. Delphi, start us off. Who are you picking?
So I said that I was gonna not pick any teams that are like doing really well, aren't 4-0 or anything like that. Yeah, I rescind that statement, and I'm picking straight out of Vanguard Spartans, and I'm going with Whittle. He absolutely carries most fights that I see him in. Watching some of the games back, I feel like there's not really a fight where he doesn't open up with a 2K or a 3K or even a 4K before the team even gets like into a position where they can push in. So, Spartans do a very good job enabling them, but there's definitely a lot of skill coming out from them if they're able to produce that kind of gameplay. So it's no contest for me.
All right, Thor, who do you got?
I went with another contender here, and I went with U or O. Not even going to pretend to. Somebody clarify that for me in chat, please. But of Sky Guardians, and I actually watched some of their tape earlier today. I watched tape of all the players that I actually listed here because I'd like to have some semblance knowing what it is that I'm talking about. But other than abusing Soldier a little bit. Plays a little bit of flex, plays a little bit of hit scan, seems to be a jack of all trades, and seems to get so much value with that team. Even though they pulled out like a really, really, really close win against Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies, I believe it was this past week. I think it was like a 3-2 or something like that. And Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies haven't won a game yet. Sky Guardians went out there and they took care of business, and a lot of it was on the back of O's play.
All right, Apathy, who do you got?
I went with Virgo on the Miami Yikes. I know a lot of people talk about Stonky as the Miami Yikes like main carry, but Virgo on that Reaper in May was very, very deadly, both when I played him and in the feature match last week. Obviously, both DPS on that team pretty good, but I don't think anybody's been talking about Virgo yet, so I'm going to start.
Yeah, I think Virgo deserves a lot of credit because I look at Stonky. Stonky's super flashy, he can make massive plays, but the consistency of Virgo is crazy, and that duo is really talented and very, very scary duo in the Harmony tier. Navito, who do you got?
For DPS, I have someone that is on an 0-4 team who actually impressed me when I played against them. Back when my Koala Kings days, I'm an old man. As I say, I think I'm like the youngest one here. Actually, I might be older than Apathy. Anyway,
I think we're tied.
I am picking Wacky from FBRD, Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies. The reason why is whenever you watch FBRD play, he is really the one getting any of the kills. Honestly, and it's pretty easy to be flashy as a hit scan, but their aim on hit scan is legitimately very good. I remember when we played them in the stream match, and the reason Busan was so close was because there are fights that Wacky just takes over and kills 4 with just his aim alone. There's some positional weaknesses and stuff, but I'm sure Night Knight's working on that with him, and he's just gotten better every week.
The one I ended up going with is one of the Palm Beach Poggers, one of the more impressive new teams this season. I went with Dez. Just watching them play in the preseason and then watching back some of these VODs, Dez looks fantastic. Dez has been pretty dominant whenever they've been in the match. I mean, Palm Beach Poggers 4-0, fantastic preseason run. I think you have to look at some of their big-name players on that team. Dez, I think, deserves a ton of credit for how far that team has come so far. I think the important thing for a lot of these new teams this season, especially in Harmony tier, keep those egos in check. I don't see Flashbacks players running around, bragging about their team or calling out other teams. I don't see Koala Kings players talking about how great they are out in public channels and things like that.
I do.
Well,
Keyword public.
Okay.
Whatever you do in private, who cares? But I don't see those teams. What I'm saying is keep the egos in check. It's gonna help you get a lot. It's gonna help you a lot. Trust us on that. An ego doesn't win you a championship.
Nope.
Truer
words have never been spoken.
Right. So it's just the truth. It's just the truth. So, anyways, keep the egos in check, y'all. And I'm telling you, it'll be Palm Beach Poggers. I don't think Palm Beach Poggers has an ego necessarily, and that's not what I'm getting at. But keep that in check, guys. And I think you guys could make an impact, not just this season, but seasons moving forward, wherever you end up here. So let's get to the supports. Delphi, who do you got?
For supports, I have just a little shy from the Miami Yikes. They're a very flexible support player. Usually has pretty good knowledge on where everybody on their team is, which is really important on a support player or on a support hero. And it seems like they're able to predict or at least prepare for what the enemy team is coming. So they're able to kind of get out of the way. And I've seen a few clutch moments where they're keeping the team up from a fight that looked lost. So for me, it was just a pretty solid choice.
I agree. Great choice there for sure. Dor, who do you got for supports?
I got Sleepy G from Vanguard, another 4-0 team. But after watching their tape earlier today, they just really seem to have a really good grasp on the entire roster of flex supports. So play the Zen, play the Moira, play the Ana, play the Bat. Even though Bat can go between flex and main support, we won't get into that. But yeah, just really does a great job of staying alive, like the most important thing for a flex support, right? Especially in a meta where you're getting poked down by Pharahs from across the map and there's nothing you can really do about it. Was just really, really impressed by their play, so I wanted to give them a shout out.
Great pick there. I agree on that. Apathy, who do you got here?
I went with Color Form on the Luminous Foxes. Both Luminous Foxes supports very, very good. Especially when they play that Brig Zen, Color Form is just a beast to try to dive because he has Cucumber Pickle on top of him, the off-tank peeling for him, and he just does not stop hitting his Zenyatta shots. It has been brutal playing Tracer into that guy, so that was my pick.
Couple quick shout outs for donations here. Apathy, you know this person well. Fervor makes the donation $10 with the one. You got a wedding to plan for there, buddy. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, he's engaged. I don't know if you knew that. That happened like a month ago now. So.
Yes, a month ago.
Yes. Everybody just I want to see clap emojis in chat, please. Anyways, let's move on. Fervor paying for the donation because apparently she wants to see Apathy in pain. Because she's paying $10 for Vix to take on Apathy.
Ooh.
So,
I see.
All right,
1v1.
What character?
Yeah, so there you go.
She didn't
on
specify.
that. But hey, Apathy is getting the married man buff, so that could be a pretty big deal. That's at least 400 SR right there. So.
I do see some Discord chats in my admin chat that Fervor and Vix are in. I wonder if I should read these messages here and see what's going on.
And then $10 donation from PDK, and it just says, "It's time," with a challenge. I have a feeling I know that that's either for me or Thug, but PDK laying down a $10 donation for a challenge of his own, guys. Again, when you put your challenges in, say who you're challenging, because now you just made everybody's job harder. But we're up to $155 now.
Jeez.
We just picked up another $5 donation from LCS. Thank you so much, everybody, for your generosity. And again, the incentives that are going to be coming out are really cool. Like I have the full incentive list. I wish I could just show you them all, but I can't yet. They're really cool, really awesome incentives. Just stick around, guys. Navino, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
you don't get to see anything, Thor.
No, I was about to say, do I get to say like what I'm offering if we hit, or are we gonna save that for another segment?
Well, we'll save that for.
Okay, we'll save it.
We'll save that. We'll get you. Okay, you know what, Thor? Go ahead. Just say it. I want
No, I don't wanna
say
do
it
it now.
Say
Never
it.
get to
Say
say
it.
it.
Say
This is
it.
what
I don't want to
Say it
Navino.
because I want to spite Navino. Say it because I want to spite Navino.
Mommy, Daddy, please stop fighting.
All right.
This is why I drink.
If we hit 10K again, I will shave my beard entirely and I will donate to charity. So all the way to the skin. I'll take the Gillette Fusion right to my face. Everything's coming off. It's all gonna go to charity. But we gotta hit the 10K again.
We didn't predict 10K because last season we might have had a little bit of a boost from a certain incentive or a certain charity thing that came about from, or not charity, but certain thing that the government handed to everybody because of COVID. But if we hit 10K again, Thor's shaving the beard, y'all. So dig deep.
My girlfriend's probably gonna donate like $5,000 herself.
Yeah. She's like, I've been asking for this for years. So,
Wow.
all right, Navino, finally your support pick.
Can I go, Mr. Yeti? I'm so honored.
Not
and so
anymore. Now,
privileged.
go ahead.
I actually picked Potty, the main support from Palm Beach Boggers. I really enjoyed like actually and it's funny to say Mercy gameplay because like as an Optic player, I think that going after flying Mercies, especially in Pharmacy, is just part of what I do personally. And like just watching their movement and stuff, it's really good. And they do a really great job of staying alive. And a lot of people, like especially in that preseason game when we played against them, a lot of people talked about like how good Dez was. You know, like to me, like it wasn't Dez that won them those maps. It was really Potty staying alive and keeping Dez alive the entire time. So that's what I think. They're pretty swag.
Pretty swag indeed.
Swag.
Not a sentence I've ever said before, by the way. They are pretty swag indeed. Speaking of swag,
Navina was hip with the kids.
Speaking of swag,
Hello, fellow
shop.spreadshirt.
kids.
Yeah. Speaking of swag, shop.spreadshirt.com/OW anyways, let's get to my support pick, and that is going back to the Koala Kings here. You got to give a shout out to the defending champions. This person stood out to me. I went with Golden Apple Guy or Gag or however.
We call him Gag.
Fair enough. Really good on the support. And what stood out to me is when we watched the Palm Beach Poggers match, Palm Beach Poggers go up 2-0. Suddenly Gag shows up. I'm not saying Gag is the reason why Koala Kings are good. That's not what I'm getting at, but Gag shows up.
What do you mean? I carried Koala.
Sounds like you're insulting their ringer.
I was insulting their ringer, yes.
Also, you're insulting Thor. I mean,
Yes.
I'm fine with this.
So what stood out to me, though, is when Golden Apple Guy showed up, suddenly that team just got much better. And it seemed to carry on. And every time I see Golden Apple Guy in there, they're doing their job right every time. And I think somebody who has that much of an impact, I think you need to give some shout out for and some credit for. I think they're the best support on their team, personally. Navino would probably tell me I'm wrong, but exactly.
Wait, what?
I'm not gonna lie. I definitely spaced the last 5 words you said.
Cool. Anyways, we're gonna pick 3 of us here, and we're gonna pick our favorite coaches right now. Give a shout out to the coaches because coaches don't get enough love, I think. Apathy, your favorite. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's start with Apathy here. Apathy, your favorite coach in this tier so far.
All right, I went with NRG 116 of the Miami Yikes. I think that team, they haven't had much player change from last season's, but they've improved significantly. So that's a pretty easy one to attribute to the coach.
I would agree. And you have to say it. I mean, look how much better they are this season already.
Mm-hmm.
They're a better team. So, Delphi, who do you pick?
I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I'm picking Argumentera from Flashbacks. I hear they're also kind of coaching Mark III on the side in Discord tier. So
I think
you're
it's
coaching
the other way around.
The other way around.
Conflict of interest, maybe?
Regardless,
Wow.
the team is the team's 4-0. Clearly something's working. So.
I'm gonna go ahead and go to Muffins, or they have like 50 different names, but the name I know best is Muffins for Vanguard. You got to give credit to Vanguard. They look better this season. Obviously, they had their run in UGC that can't be ignored. They've won a lot of matches. They look pretty darn good doing it. So there's some clear improvement there, especially in some of the holdouts from last season to this season. You got to give credit to coaching. They definitely have improved that squad through either additions or through coaching, and the coaching can't be ignored. So you got to give some credit where credit's due there. Big test for them this week against Flashbacks. Anyways, that's it for the Harmony tier, guys. Oh, we just got another pretty large donation, so I do want to shout it out real quick here. I think we have a $50 donation from Asdo. Thank you so much, Asdo, for that generous donation. We certainly do appreciate it. Reminder, guys, more incentives, more rewards will be available next week. This is primarily just for the 1v1s. You're certainly welcome to donate now if you really like. We're not going to review it. That'd be silly. But reminder that next week there will be a lot more incentives for donating. So thank you so much again for that generous donation. In the interim, guys, we're going to get over now to your weekly montage this week. This one is brought to you by Nagi, and let's get it underway. All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you again, Nagi, for that fantastic montage. Definitely appreciated. Really quick news, by the way, Overwatch-related news that I know a lot of people are going to be happy about this. Maybe some of you will be sad. Overwatch 2, Brigitte is getting complete rework, and included in that, she will no longer be able to stun enemies. I know there's a lot of rejoicing for that. So, and probably some supports being a little sad. Yeah, supports. The supports. There's the supports. There's the supports. There they go. Yep. This all checks out. Where's the happiness? I'm looking for happy DPS. I haven't seen that. There's one. There's one.
There's the one.
There's the one right there. Look how happy he is. All right, and there's Vet, the main tank. Yeah, the main tank feels it too. That's true. All right, yeah, supports. You know what? Suck it. Anyways,
Permadead. They're just gonna be dead.
I'm gonna
Less impact on comp games. Let's go.
Yes, you get to be less impactful now. No, they're
No more
completely.
solo
Keep in
queuing.
mind, it's a complete rework. So it's not
Yes.
just stun being.
That won't
gone.
be the
It's
only
a
thing.
complete rework. So
She will have 500 health.
calm down. Calm
She
down.
is a tank now.
Calm down. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to the next bit here, y'all. Let's go to the Discord tier. Discord tier, starting off with your tank roll stars for the mid-season here. Who do you got? Delphi.
I picked Silent Sword from Quokka Queens. You know, they don't play all the maps every match, but I definitely think they should. Very oppressive main tank, forces a lot of space for their team. Seems like they're a really good spearhead for the team, and all in all, it's just, you know, that they create a lot of utility, and the rest of the team can follow up on it. I mean, the team itself is stacked already, but I definitely think that without Silent on the main tank, when they're in, they'd be a little bit different on some of these maps. The maps would be a little less decisive.
You might see a little bit more Silent coming soon.
Good.
All right.
Definitely deserve it.
Leaks.
leaks.
Thor, who do you got here for tanks?
As much as I hate to admit it, this man's been on the grind, and he's really kind of carrying his team at this moment in time, especially with some key pieces like D Wang leaving after last season. I got to give it to Beppo from SEAL Team Spuds. The man's just an absolute beast, even though I still body him every time I face him.
All right. Somebody clip
Dang.
that and send it to Beppo, please. Thanks.
No, I have to give respect where respect is due. So definitely, I have no issues with shouting out Beppo here.
Apathy, who do you got?
I took all the easy answers in Discord tier, so I went with Blood Hungry on Reminiscence. I mean, it's not a wrong answer.
About like 2.5 seconds of thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a wrong answer. The
It's
guy's
not a-
good at the game.
It's not a
True.
wrong answer. It's a fair
True.
answer. I'm going to give you
True.
that. It's a very fair answer. All right. DeVito, who do you got for tank?
Well,
Well.
I have picked the lesser of the last season, season 6 Harmony off tanks. I would say lesser. I must say lesser here because I'm picking Toxic from Echo Fleet. You know, I beat him last season. You know, but he's doing pretty well here. They're undefeated. He's doing pretty well. He's just really good. Same things last season. Like, he's very good at Diva. And he's also just very good at peeling and space like maintaining. I think he does a good job of, especially playing with CQ2 from last season as well.
All right. My tank choice here. I kind of wanted to go with a little bit of a team that might not be at the front of the line here. I went over to Wildfire. I went with Nemo. Wildfire has had kind of an interesting stage. They started off pretty well. Had a couple of rough weeks here. I think they're set up here to take the last week though. But if I look for a consistent force on that team, it's one of the leaders of that team. It's Nemo. They've been really strong throughout this season. And you got to give credit where credit's due. Bring in a team. They joined, I believe, the day before the season started. They came right in and they dominated the first batch 4-0. Like, you have to give some credit where credit's due on that. It has been great since they've been here, and to come into a tournament on short notice and then do really well where they got to this point, you got to give credit to them. So DPS now. Delphi, start us off.
I decided that there's a lot of really good teams to be talking about, and I decided to go Fenrir and specifically Carlos. Mechanically, they're a very talented hit scan. The tracking's really good. They have really good positioning. They always seem to be on the lookout for a new opportunity to pop off or make a big play, but they're also disciplined enough to not feed their brains out while they're doing it. So I had to go Carlos here. Another player I wish played more maps or we saw more of. And it doesn't get in every game, but I think definitely deserves more playtime.
All right, Thor, who's your pick here for DPS Roll Star?
I had to go with a community favorite here, and I know that she's been grinding as well. I think she was she had just cleared 3K at the time of registration for season 7, and I believe she just hit Masters.
Yep.
And that's Yoon from Echo Fleet. You got to respect that grind, and it's showing in the success of Echo Fleet in general in the tier right now. So a lot of that has to do with Yoon's execution on the Tracer, on the Mei. She has a very, very wide hero pool that they can tap into, and it's a huge boon for that team.
And for what it's worth, that's something you probably couldn't have said about Yoon a couple of seasons ago, is having that wide hero pool. A couple seasons ago, you looked at the hero pool, it was a lot more shallow. The growth from Yoon has been crazy. She has been on that grind, and she's been killing it. So you got to give credit where credit's due to that. I mean, that the DPS, the duo on Echo Fleet is just terrifying. Just genuinely scary. It's a really
we can't
duo.
we can't give Noah Mac this much credit.
No, hold on. I'm saying, guys, he donated $40. Let me give him some credit here, okay? It's $40. I'm trying to give some credit to the. I mean, the Twitter game, it is what it is, but I got to give some credit to the actual Overwatch game. So
let's just not reference that. At all.
We don't want to go into that. All right, Apathy, go ahead here. What's your? I'm sorry, Normac. Go ahead, Apathy. What's yours?
I went with Frosty on the SEAL Team Spuds. One of the carries of Q for Quarantine last season. Pretty good team coming over to the Spuds. I think he's one of the stars on that roster. He does a lot, even though he's rotated in and out every now and then. I think he's one of the better players on that Spuds roster, helping him get these Ws.
I mean, I'm the GM for that team, and I can tell you, there's been a lot of times where Frosty has backpacked the Spuds. He's crazy good. Navino, go ahead here. Who's your DPS Roll Star?
I'm gonna have the easy pick that I stole from Apathy.
Apathy 2.0. Here we go.
Asdo
he
from
went first.
Reminiscence. I also, if you look in Discord discussion, I changed my Discord nickname to #1 Asdo Simp because I am truly an Asdo Simp. He deserved MVP last season, and I think he'll get it this season. Hands down, the best DPS in the scene, like Discord, and he would compete in trans tier 2 as a very good DPS.
And if people are upset about this, go back and watch the feature, because
people are.
The 8K on Busan was, I don't know.
I mean, if you're upset about this,
I don't want to try to talk about it more. Sorry, but just Jesus Christ.
Last season, this man played literally for Joey, right? He played 2 maps on Hitscan and then 2 maps on Mei. He would switch in the same map and still he would get gold damage in either one. He's just his accuracy, his game sense, and a lot of people don't realize that his comms are very good. I think he talked about it in Beat Trap actually. His comms can be very good, but it hurts his aim, and so the less he talks, the more he kills.
My DPS Roll Star for midseason, I wanted to go to one of the teams that aren't necessarily on the top of the standings. I went over to Domination. New team this season, has done pretty darn well. I went to a Dab Master for Domination. Domination's an interesting team. We haven't really seen a whole ton of them yet. I had to kind of look at some replays. Impact player on that team, no question about it. One of the leaders of that team. I have to say, I have to give some credit to Dab Master. They've looked really good. They've come in and done a really fantastic job. And since we can't pick more than one person from a team, I want to reach out and just say, to some of these new teams, you guys are making an impact, and domination has definitely made an impact this season so far. I think Dab Master is a big part of that. So, you know, I got to give some credit there. You know, you're gonna play the Spuds this week, and you're gonna lose, but you know, that's going to be the clip that if the Spuds lose now, that's going to come back to bite me in the ass. It's going to be a really funny meme that somebody's going to whip up. And they're going to be like, say like, oh, this happened? And then they're going to go,
Yeah, like
the John
Royals
Cena's going to
one.
pop up and be like, are you sure about that? You know,
The season 5 Royals one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
So anyways, Dab Master is the pick there. For that one. Let's get into the supports now. Delphi, start us off.
Sure. So I'm gonna go with Reckless Sigma, a Reckless Sigma player here, and I'm going with Madison Beer. You know, the few games while I'm doing my research, I watched some of the clips back, some of the VODs and some of the games, and one thing I see them play a lot is Mercy, and hardly anybody talk about the Mercy players. I know we had one a little bit earlier, but you know, I absolutely love watching their Mercy's movement. I like to think that I'm a pretty good Mercy, even though I don't really main her, but I appreciate really good movement, really good game sense, and I think they definitely have it great. And I really enjoy watching them fly across the map, missing a lot of shots, using the super jump during res. I mean like other people missing shots on them, not pulling out the block and missing their shots, but you know, it's just all in all, I really appreciate the Mercy gameplay. I saw him on Lucio for a little bit. It looked a little bit shaky, and I have no doubt that, you know, once they can master some of these other main support heroes, they're just gonna hard pop off, and they're gonna be a force to reckon with, 100%.
Thor, go ahead.
So I had to go ahead and give some credit to somebody who I don't think gets anywhere near the amount of credit as they should, and that's Lekka from Mechanize. Aside from pretty much doing all the managerial stuff for that team, they've been so ridiculously consistent over the past couple of seasons, at least as long as I've known them. Really solid across the entire main support spectrum, Lucio, Brig, Mercy, you name it. They play it at a very high level, really, really the glue that keeps that team together.
Apathy, who do you got?
I went with Glitch with 2 C's from Reminiscence. Another easy pick, but again, the talent is there on all Flex support characters, in particular, the Baptiste, so it's hard to go against that one.
Navino, who do you got here?
I have Pineapple Bro from Lotus. I think of that team, he's probably their most consistent spot. He played in Valkyrie last season, did really well. And I think like they've to continue that with Lotus, and he kind of built the roster, didn't he? He's their GM, isn't he? He's their GM.
I thought it was Euphoria.
No, Euphoria. They are the GM.
Okay, never mind then. But I know he was a big part of that big building block of that team, and they have like a lot of vets from Harmony and some from Discord last season, and they're a cool team to watch. Even though they lost to Excalibur, they're still a solid team.
They play a fun style, like a really cool to watch style of Overwatch.
They play Doomfist.
Yeah, I like Doomfist though. That's fun. Like Doomfist
What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah.
that means as an off-tank player, I tilt when a Doomfist just punches into my back line.
Okay, for what it's worth,
Navino,
for what it's worth, you're usually tilted playing Overwatch.
I mean, that's true. That's true, bro.
Fair enough.
You all, if anyone remembers my streams when on my POV of Harmony for Koala season last season, I literally had to start. For those who don't know, I had to start muting myself because of how much I cussed during games.
Couldn't scout you because all your VODs were muted.
There's a very vivid clip of one of your support players who was streaming at the time when you were screaming at them on Anubis. You were just screaming at the top of your lungs, and Pog is just sitting there going.
I can't see what you're saying.
You just see him shrink down into his head just shrink into his shoulders. A damn turtle. Anyways, Navino tilts like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, buddy. So, anyways, my support of choice here, I went with a Tranquility veteran. I went from the Holy Jalapenos, Shamanzi. You know, Holy Jalapenos are an interesting team because they don't have they're not pushing extremely hard this season from what I've gathered. You know, they're not scrimming like 2 or 3 days a week. I think they do 1 scrim a week right now, and they're just kind of doing their thing. So I'm going to give a shout out to Shamanzi here because, you know, he's definitely a vocal leader, definitely one of the shot callers and IGLs for that team. You know, it's I got to go with Szymanski on this one. So I think they stand out for sure. Coaches, let's go to Navino first.
Oh, I'm first this time. I'm so honored. Actually, I'm just kind of caught off guard. I have Mag Polar from Spuds for my coach. I think Spuds has done a big turnaround, and just from talking to you, Yeti, talking to people in the community, like a lot of it is because of Mag Polar, and he's done like a.
Stop saying bag polar.
Wait, I say mag. Does it sound like I'm saying bag? My bad.
No, he's trying to rebrand to bag polar, but it doesn't make any sense. And
it's just polar.
Everybody refuses to say bag
it's just
polar.
It's just polar.
It's so stupid.
Why is it because he wants to be like a magnet? I don't know why.
I don't know why. I don't. That man is a mystery.
It's polar. Don't call him anything else, or call him Young Rocco. Either one is fine.
Yeah, Rocco.
Oh, Young Rocco. I like that name, Young Rocco. Young Rocco, real OG out here.
Oh, stop, please. Stop, please. Go, Navino. Just finish your damn thought. Jesus Christ.
Basically, they do really well. They do a lot of odd reviews, and they've done like a lot of good scouting, and it shows in Spuds and their game plans and how they've played.
He's a huge part of the org. That's all I can say. Not to get sappy, but Starch org would not be the same without Paul. Question about that. Thor, who do you got for your pick?
I had to go with Tyler with Quokka Queens here, just from the sheer fact of like bringing in kind of, I don't want to say a hodgepodge group of players because they definitely like knew each other. But when it comes to their experience in Tranquility, being able, kind of struggled the way that they did a little bit in the preseason tourney, and then coming in the regular season, just like knocking people around. A lot of that has to be attributed to the coach. So got to give credit where credit's due.
For those that don't know, every Quokka Queens player has a tradition where we just all ping Tyler, and we welcome anyone to ping Tyler.
Please do not encourage people to ping people in the Discord. Thank you.
You can go into their Discord and do it.
You can go into their Discord. Go to the Marsupial Discord, and you can do
come
that.
to Marsupial and do it. I will start it in Marsupial, not Trank. Marsupial.
I was gonna say I could see a certain anime trans team getting their keyboards ready.
Oh, they just got really excited all of a sudden. The whole council. All right, my pick for the Discord tier coach star. I hate to give the guy credit because it's Capital. But you have to look at what's going on with Reminiscence. Building that team was a huge project, and it's Reminiscence is such an interesting thing because there's so many people who kind of came together here. Like it's, I don't know. For me, it's like building that team alone is the achievement. Because Reminiscence was a team of just a lot of talented people from a lot of different places that came together and quickly formed into one of the more frighteningly good teams that we've seen in Tranquility in a while. Granted, they lost, but I think that's more of a credit to Quokka Queens that it is a shot on Reminiscence.
Imagine losing.
Yeah, I know, right? Who loses? Couldn't be me. Anyways.
I don't know what that feeling's like.
Once again, reminder, everybody, giveaway is happening at the end of the cast. We do have the t-shirt giveaway like normal. Get your entries in now if you want them. This is your last chance. Comms check is coming right around the corner here. And reminder, ! Donate in the chat for event week challenges. Here we go with the comms check.
Cross your sheet to see who is who. Just so we don't.
I am. You're not me, I am me. You're you.
You are me and you are you? If I am not me, then who am I?
Shut up.
I are you and you are I.
If you are I, then who am me?
Me am I and you are I.
Nice, boys.
Good counter shot. 10 step. Give me time to get my jump back.
First fight, I should have.
Why? What happened?
I should have just flipped.
Let's go with that beauty.
Let's go. Let's go for you. Let's go, dude.
He's so good. He's so sexy and has a massive personality, guys. Massive personality.
Don't, she's gonna kill me.
Nah, you don't have heals.
Got me killed.
Bad call out.
Alright, what do you call a suspicious noodle?
Carlton.
Sussy balls.
An impasta.
Wait, what was it?
An imposter.
Oh, an imposter.
What's it,
what do
the
you- I got one,
Atlantic
I got one.
Ocean? Oh, okay, you got it.
I got one. This came from my physics teacher today. What do you call someone who goes to the gym and they just watch?
What?
Weight Watchers.
That's a good one. What did the Atlantic Ocean say to the Pacific Ocean?
I ain't got no clue.
Nothing. It just waved.
Sounds like Verge.
Very good, dad jokes.
I take it into character.
Okay, cool sanctuary.
Yeah, I'm Zenyatta.
Oh my god.
So fucking dark. Racer, you have 4. I can't see you, Ball. Escorting in 3, 2, 1.
They're gonna TP. Oh my god.
You're so cute.
You're literally the most attractive person I've ever met.
You were a cute little.
Okay, they're gonna have. I think they're.
Have you ever even seen me type in match chat unless it was to call a pause when Faith disconnects?
This is true.
I do not engage with the enemy team.
Grandpa, I engage on the battlefield.
Yeah, I'm here to kill them, not make friends.
I'm here to murder them, not call their mom gay.
Yeah, I don't care if their mom is gay. Like, that's their business.
Forward thinking.
It's not even their business, it's their mom's business.
That's true, it's not their business either.
In the middle of that round, Horizon and I just started playing like a whole different fucking adventure game. Chasing sorry.
No, there was like one point where there was 30 seconds where I was just banging my turret. And then and she was trying to kill it. And I was just healing it.
I think we definitely know.
We don't care.
Alright,
We
you know what? Go out. Touch door. No.
Alright.
Just show them. Just show them.
let's go
What are they gonna do about it?
Yeah, alpha.
What are they gonna do about it?
Yeah, what are they gonna do about it? What the f are you gonna do? Let's go!
A few moments later.
Run! Focus run!
Bastion left side, Bastion left side, Bastion left side, Bastion left side.
Hiding cart, I'm hiding cart.
I have no shield.
I
was a victim to Bastion.
They went to different strat. They went instead of Ana, they went Bastion.
They did something even dumber.
That's fine, that's fine.
Run prison. Leave out a mech as well. Oh, huge! May. I need Ghosty Pepper's players. And
He's dead. Nice. Was that it? Did we win?
Nice!
Hey!
Let's go.
I mean, that's GG, right?
That's GG.
We won one.
Boys, we did it. Hey, we proved all those spreads wrong. Let's go.
All ready for this.
Okay. Let's close it out.
Yeah.
Hold ups. Hold ups. Take on me. Take me on.
Take on me.
I love this team. Jesus Christ.
And welcome back, everybody. Thank you for that comms check there, Bowsy. For the record, that was a non-copyrighted version of that song.
Totally.
No DMCA for us. I would say what a lovely clip to end on, but
we all heard it.
But we all listened to it. That's the problem. All right, let's get to the last bit here before we move on, guys. Trans tier tanks. Go ahead, Delphi.
I'm picking someone from SS Cuttlefish, which is a team that, you know, I feel like people talk about, but not as much as some of the other big teams going on right now. And I'm picking Matrix. You know, they're they're a bit of a ball main or one trick or something, but they were able to play ball successfully on King's Row, and that's just pretty dang impressive. I saw them flex a monkey a little bit, which shows that they have some of the flexibility. But it takes a good team to play around a ball like that, but it also takes a great ball to find success on maps where you normally wouldn't really get any value. So just watching the gameplay, very impressive.
Thor, who do you got?
So I'm going to take the easy one this time, and I'm going to go with Andy from Godhand. Just overall solid, can play the entire roster of main tanks, or the anchor of that team. And even though they came out like a little apathetic, no pun intended, week 1 against Celestial Winds, they've really brought it back. And a lot of that's just, you can thank Andy for that.
All right. Apathy, go ahead.
I'm still trying to figure out what the pun was that could have been intended there.
I said apathetic.
Yeah, but I have nothing to do with Andy.
No, you're apathy. You're apathy.
I know who I am.
What?
I think he's trying to connect
funny.
the dots.
It's not funny.
All right, well, another A word. Abraxas. Andy, Apathy, Abraxas. There we go. On the Devil Dukes. That's Double D, not the same thing. He's the flex tank player on that Devil Dukes roster. They've been a pretty strong team throughout stage 1, and he comes in and plays like both roles when he's needed, just switching in between the two of them mid-map, and I think that takes a lot of skill to be able to run so many tanks like that at a transfer level and not really drop many maps.
Davino, go ahead.
I thought was an easy pick, which was Truly Canadian from Alpha. He was on the team this last season. He's on the team this season. He's just consistently one of the top tanks in the tier. Not much more to say.
Yeah,
Never dropped a map.
No question about it. Truly Canadian is truly fantastic. My choice, leader of Celestial Wind team, came in with a thunderous roar, taking down GDH in week 1. Celestial Wind's clones, fantastic player with that team. That's your tank roll stars. Let's go over to the DPS now in Trance tier. Delphi, start us off.
I am, I talked about this person before, so I'm going to keep it pretty brief. I'm picking Dragon from Amnesia. I said this before, Decapitators trialed him. He's a very talented hit scan player, ended up going to Amnesia. I think it was a great pickup for them, and you're gonna see him being one of the greats either this season, next. Just a very cracked hit scan player.
He's been great for several seasons, so Dragon is very, very talented. Thor, who do you got?
I had to go with Aaron for Celestial Wind, simply due to the fact that they busted out Bastion on King's Row last week, even though it was against Manifest, a team that's like struggling so far in Transcendence tier. But the fact that they made it work, he deserves MVP for that alone.
All right. Apathy, go ahead.
So I think a lot of us were like trying to go towards some of these teams that maybe not everybody would pick, like not going straight to the alphas, the Decapitators. And I think we all settled on the Cuttlefish. So because I went with Somi of the SS Cuttlefish, very good Pharah, even though thematically I don't really understand. Pharah doesn't really swim, but still a very, very talented player for that team.
Navina, go ahead.
I for some reason thought I already spoke, and I was confused for a second. I have Mini from Godhand. Again, like another vet, very good, very consistent. I almost picked Orsted, but I thought Orsted was stinky, so I did not.
He's old, so it's
he's
okay.
old. It's old, yeah. So had to go with the man, the myth, the legend, Mini.
I do say not seeing Smugs or Jonas on the list from Decapitators. I just
not seeing Delphi on the list
is normal and expected. But I didn't pick them because I'm affiliated with them, so I can't. I picked
kind of just assumed someone else would.
I assumed somebody would. I picked A2 from the Plat Laws. A2 and then several more numbers. But they came in really good. They looked fantastic in the feature match that we saw them in during the preseason. In the regular season here. Plat Laws are a pretty good team, and I think A2 is a huge part of how good they've been so far this season. Support lines. Start us off, Delphi. Who do you got?
It's gonna be pretty short because I don't know what good things I can say about them. But I am going to be picking Capital from Amnesia. That's just a joke. Really good player. Heads a really awesome org. All teams are pretty cracked. I know Amnesia's lost without him. He's the rock for the team. A very good support. I think he might actually be MVP contender for the season as well. So, just all around, really awesome guy to be around. A bit of a troll, but
We really
that's
trying to
Capital.
pump up his ego here, aren't we? We're just like, going
You do be trolling a bit.
Hey, after you ruin the ego a little bit, you got to bring him back up so you can crush him even harder.
True.
Not wrong on that one. Thor, who do you got?
The only bias that I'm going to throw out here tonight, but if nobody shouts this guy out, it would be a travesty, and that's D-Wang Gang from Odin within the Ragnarok org. And it's really between him and AMFM that are carrying that team right now. Got to give up a lot of respect. You see D-Wang every single week, in the montage, and he's there for a reason. He's doing work.
Go ahead, Apathy.
I went with Palico Master on Alpha, playing the main support. The Brig play in that feature match against Nia was excellent, but no slouch on the Mercy or Lucio either.
Navino wraps up here on the support line.
I have Gilly from SS Cuttlefish, just super consistent player on that team, and they're 4-0 for a reason. So, I gotta give it to Gilly.
It's 3 picks off SS Cuttlefish, by the way. So,
hey, look, we didn't plan that out.
We didn't plan that out. Let's go to the my pick here, by the way, for supports. I went with George Lopez, formerly known as Tasty, from Dirt. I like Dirt. Best player on Dirt, in my opinion. Fantastic support player. Delphi, who do you got for coach?
So I'm upset that Decap isn't getting a lot of love here, boys. Like I'm a little disappointed. There was no Delphi, there was no Shoepak, no Deputy, no Jay, no Jonas, no
All the
Smokes,
bench
no
warmers.
Truth. Exactly. So I had to throw in a Decap somewhere. No bias. Ons as a coach for my team, coached formerly and tranked some of the other teams as well. Trank alumni. Just a really awesome coach. He's honestly the rock for the team. He keeps everybody stable. He settles a lot of arguments, very unbiased, and he gives really good direction to us. So I was told not to pick anyone from our team, but we had to throw a Decap in there somewhere.
I just shrugged my shoulders when he did. So go ahead, Apathy. Who do you got?
I went with Gold from Amnesia, the only coach in the Nostalgia org that actually shows up to every scrim.
True.
Or any scrim, excuse me.
GLD.
GLD Gold, whatever you want to call it. He hurt his wrist, so now he's stuck coaching, but he's doing a pretty good job at it.
Yeah, he's doing all right. I mean, Amnesia's, got to figure out how to keep everybody showing up, I guess. But, Cap had to go off to college, so... Then Declan's got 40 labs a week, so... all these things. But anyways, I digress. My pick here in coach, it's a coach I don't think has gotten nearly enough credit. They coach a lot of the teams in the Reckless org. That's I don't know if it's MC Junior or MC, how they say it, Mick Junior.
Mick Junior.
Mick Junior. They coach a ton of teams in the Reckless org. The success speaks for itself. You can't argue with it. They're a good coach. Obviously, they've done their job well. Alpha's a great team. Shockwave. Shockwave. When they showed up in Trans tier, a lot of people could have looked at it and said, that's a lot of the same players from last season, and a lot of them are still in Discord tier level. How are they going to do in Trans tier? They've come in, and they're looking to potentially make an A tier run here going into Stage 2, and that's impressive with how stacked a lot of the teams are in the Transcendence tier. So credit where credit's due. That's a great coach. So let's get to your matches to watch this week, guys. Which matches are you looking for most this week? Delphi, let's go ahead with you.
I'm kind of looking at Miami Yikes versus Luminous Foxes. The Yikes are 4-0, Luminous is 2-2, so it's kind of looking a little one-sided. But after watching some of the VODs, Luminous individually, they have a lot of really good players. I think they can do really well if they clean a few things up. They're coming in this as the underdogs. I still think it's going to be 3-1 the Miami Yikes, but I think Luminous can do it if they clean up a few things.
Thor, who do you got?
I'm going with matchup in the Harmony tier, and I'm going with Flashbacks versus Vanguard here. And even though Vanguard are 4-0 and Flashbacks are 3-1, Flashbacks definitely coming into this as the favorites. I'm really interested to see what Vanguard does against a top-tier team like Flashbacks. I'm picking a close one here. I'm picking 3-2 Flashbacks.
Apathy, who do you got?
So I went with this one. I don't necessarily think that this match is going to be too close. I just thought it was a pretty interesting matchup. I've got Battalion versus Godhand, which is a rematch of the Season 6 Transcendence Tier Finals. So that was the reason that I went with it, although I do think Godhand will 4-0 despite some of the recent pickups that Battalion have made. I think this is one of the matches that Godhand has the most incentive to try in up until playoffs actually start. So I'm looking at a 4-0 here, but I'm still excited to watch it for the rematch.
And Navino, which match are you most looking forward to?
I am looking forward to a game that you don't have to scrounge and find a stream for. That's right here on Overwatch Tranquility.
And twitch.tv/OW Tranquility.
It is the
so
featured
quick with
tomorrow.
it. He's so quick with it.
I know he has to make up for MPC not being here.
That's true.
It is the Jetpack Cats versus Jersey Boys. You know, and I think it's gonna be a very good game. But I have 3-1 in favor of Jersey Boys.
Ooh.
I think Jersey Boys are looking really on the up and up. And my faith in the Jetpack Cats train was a little shaken after watching that game versus Palm Beach Boggers. So, and if you just like look at it, like JPC took a map, you know, from Palm Beach. And Jetpack Cats did not. So, you know, transitive property and all that stuff.
Yep. You carried the one, cosine. Yeah. You're good. All right. My match to watch, I'm looking at Echo Fleet versus Mark III. Here's the deal. There is nothing to play for in this match, basically. Absolutely nothing. Both teams are locked into A pool. They cannot lose their spot. The next two teams could not pass them in the group. There's nothing to play for, but this is one of the last matchups of undefeated teams that you're going to see this season, and it's going to be a banger, guys. Mark III, new team this season, look fantastic. Echo Fleet, also a new team this season with a lot of very familiar faces on it as well. Who wins the group outright? Who gets those bragging rights going into stage 2? I'm going right now. I'm going 3-2 Echo Fleet. I think the Normac and Yoon combo is it's really scary. It's really good. It's also really scary. And then also you can't underestimate that support line with Greninja and Soli. I don't think they get talked about at all, which is crazy because Greninja is an amazing player, and the maid costume is a thing that he's done too. All right, let's wrap it up here really quick, guys. Just again, announcement, content creation team 1v1s. You guys got a week to get those challenges out to us here. ! Donate in the chat if you want to see that. We'll be hyping it up all week this week. Again, all of the content creation team is up for grabs here in that in these 1v1 challenges. We have great programming this week. Tonight, after this, we have Predicting Tranquility. Tomorrow, we have a Harmony Tier match. Jersey Boys, Jetpack Cats, going to be a good one. Following that, we have a live edition of Coach's Corner with Juggle God. And then from Pico, we have Gunther. They'll be reviewing a map with the Fighting Potatoes and Miami Yikes with Virgo and with Solitary Bird joining as well. This will be a live version of Coach's Corner. Wednesday, we have match day, obviously, and then we also have the feature match on Wednesday as well, and that one is actually slipping my mind, and I didn't write it down because I am the best at creating outlines. That one is Skybox and Bird Society Ibis for that matchup. And then on Thursday, we have the Discord tier matchup that is between Poseidon and Valkyrie. And then immediately following that, you have the beat drop with Captain Jack. So you don't want to miss any of this. And again, reminder, after that, Sunday, 6 days of Tranquility programming in a row for event week kicks off with the D&D staff D&D campaign one shot led by Beth Kahn. So be sure to tune in for that and watch us make fools of ourselves, everybody. We're going to wrap it up here with the drawing here, and let's go ahead and kick it off here. Can I get a drum roll or a random number generator or something? All right, the winner this week is LCS. Congratulations, LCS, winning the free shirt.
And happy birthday.
And
this
happy...
is his birthday present.
Oh, wow.
I guess.
He gets a birthday. Wow, look at that.
Yeah. The big old
huge,
12 or something.
Huge. I don't even know if we can ship to where. Is he actually in South there? I don't know if we can ship.
Yeah,
to
he's
there.
in Chile.
Yeah,
he's in Chile.
We'll get a backup drawn just in case if we can't ship the Chile.
Or let him give it to someone.
Or he could get. Yeah, actually, he could probably just give it to somebody else.
Drive up and get it.
Yeah, you can drive up to Texas.
Not that far. It's only like a few minutes.
Congratulations, LCS, on that one, guys. Looking forward to a fantastic week here in Tranquility. We hope you enjoy it as much as we do. And we look forward to, next week, instead of seeing an Iris podcast, you are going to see the content creation team's 1v1 challenge. Make sure you get in on that. Donate. Get those donations in, guys. We want to see Thor shaved. I really want to know what.
Do we?
I don't know if I want
scared.
to, but
I got like a quadruple chin that I'm hiding.
Desperately curious though. So
for the record, I would not do that for $10,000 to my own bank account. I would still say no.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in tonight. We appreciate all the support as always. For Delphi, Navino, Thor, and Apathy, I am Mr. Yeti. We appreciate you gazing into the Iris tonight, and we will see you again soon.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the Iris.